morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Nerdin' Out. My name is Evan.
I'm David.
I'm Nathaniel.
Ow! Ow!
Sorry, I sounded like a stupid, little, mangy dog.
No, that's all right. No, that's all right. I'm used to that. So
My heart, my
so
soul.
quick. How are you guys doing?
It's very warm.
It's sehr warm. Sehr warm.
Yes, I feel like I'm in the tropics.
That's German?
Yeah.
Is it?
It's German for very warm.
I might use that.
Say it again.
C'est bon.
Sehr warm. And there's no W sound.
That's very soft for German.
Well, you pronounce it better. My wife says you pronounce German better, more correctly if you sound angry or if you use angry inflection. So, sehr warm. There you go. Sehr warm. There you go.
You could never have a calm conversation in German.
Conversation.
Conversation.
Oh, I've never heard that.
Calm
Pats on back for me. That's very nice.
Good job, Nathaniel. Thanks, Nathaniel.
Yeah.
You're
the best
welcome.
thing since Blossom.
I don't know why my gut reaction was to say that's what you get instead of thank you.
Because you're used to punishing yourself.
So,
There's
speaking of punishing ourselves, Invincible is our topic today.
I know.
Right?
Let's just get right into
Let's
it.
just jump right into it. You know, as
So,
what is Invincible?
Philip DeFranco would say.
David, you want to give us
Let's
like a
just jump right into
5-second? No, that's the wrong person to give it to.
Yeah,
He's gonna
you
go
don't
for
wanna
5
get that
minutes.
from me.
Evan, what is Invincible?
It is a more realistic take on superheroes in modern day, and it's animated.
And it's very violent.
That's kind of what I meant with. That's kind of what I meant with realistic, where it's like if you had a superhuman flying at Mach 1 and he hit someone, what would that look like?
Probably pretty colorful and gory.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
And do you guys notice how the every time the title screen opened up, more blood splattered on it? Did you ever notice that?
No.
So
Yeah, more and
Really?
more blood. Yeah.
Every time
by the last episode in the season, it's just all blood.
So this is going to be a full spoiler cast because it's been out for a few months and
It's been out for a few months, and they're right now they're making season 2.
Yeah.
So we thought this would be a good time to talk about season 1 and then talk about what we liked and what we think is going to happen for season 2, because there is a comic book series that this is based off of that is much further along than the series is
by
now.
Robert Kirkman, right?
Yeah, by Robert
Creator
Kirkman.
of the Walking Dead
Yes.
comic.
So it is much further along than the series is. So I haven't looked into anything from the comic books because I want to remain unspoiled. But what was everyone's impressions of the first season? And first, what was everyone's impressions?
I have not seen the finale completely yet.
Okay.
Oh,
So let me put that into
that's-
perspective.
That's okay.
So,
But you've seen part of it.
I saw
What's
10
the-
minutes into it and I haven't gotten to the rest of it yet.
Oh man, are you?
Well, honestly,
You're
though.
not watching it with Sabrina, though, are you?
I'm trying to watch it with her, but she's not.
Yeah, I
She
was gonna
falls
say,
asleep.
doesn't
Okay, well, to
seem
be
like
fair,
it.
okay, so the first 10 minutes of the season finale, you kind of get the most information that you need to get.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I don't know if there's anything life-changing towards the middle end of it, but
It just kind of
don't know.
sets up the next season, basically. That's all it's really doing.
Okay.
There's enough though that
We're not going to talk about everything, but you saw where the meme came from.
Yes,
Yeah.
of
Okay.
course.
So then that's kind of the biggest thing that happens.
David,
in
you
that
didn't
episode.
finish the last episode. Think, David, think.
Look, I'm sorry.
That's the thing that's bugging me about that meme. He doesn't say think Mark think. He just
What did he say?
says think Mark, and that's it.
Yeah.
He doesn't say think again. That's what's been killing me about the meme. It's like people are misquoting it. And I don't know if that's on purpose or if that's like.
No, I think it was just ignorance.
Yeah.
That usually is what happens. It kind of just like evolves.
If you watch the episode, he just goes, "It's like think Mark," and then that's it. He doesn't say it again.
It's like with the Darth Vader quote, like Luke, no, Luke, I am your father. I think he just says, "No, I am your father." Right?
No, he just goes, "No, I am your father."
Exactly, and people put Luke in there.
Yeah, I know, which he never says that. Anyway,
Misquote the movie.
It's mostly made from people who probably don't watch it, and they're just like, here, extra words.
Darth Vader, am I
Yeah,
right?
see?
He's a funny guy.
Yeah. Anyway,
But-
so from what you saw, what were your impressions from this first season?
Nolan gets a it's so cool to see, and you know what? You think of like situations like, oh, Batman versus Superman. Who could possibly win? Like Superman wins. What are you talking about? The dude's like, and this is the best way to write a character who's straight up just too
strong
against a character who could be, but's just
not there yet.
he has no like, and like Mark doesn't show a lot through the seasons of like development in that sense, but he does.
You mean
as a
like
person.
power-wise?
Yeah, he doesn't, and I get it
Because he
like,
just got his powers,
he did,
so that's
yeah.
kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
Is that he's a novice
It's-
going up
it's-
against someone who's been doing this for years.
He's used to obliterating everything.
So
and
okay, so what do you?
flying
Yeah, so what
through
were your?
buildings.
So what were your impressions on like this whole like dark take on what? If basically people are basically saying, oh, it's Superman, but if he was evil, but
it's not.
It's
so much further than that.
It goes deeper than that, obviously.
is.
But on the surface level, that's what it looks like. So Omni-Man, played by the brilliant J.K. Simmons.
Yeah. Dude, he's
can we
point.
talk about how basically this is a J.
Jonah Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson became Superman? Can we talk about that for a second?
It's perfect.
I think
about-
the casting is perfect.
He's
Dude, and the
antagonizing.
cast, there's so many, like,
Yeah.
everyone on the cast basically is some big name actor.
Yeah, let me get the. Let me get the list.
guy from The Walking Dead is Mark.
Yeah.
Stephen Yeun, yeah.
Stephen Yeun is Mark.
Sandra Oh is in there.
Yeah, Sandra Oh is his mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the list. Out.
They got the
There's
guy
a lot.
from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the crazy guy with the crazy hair.
Yeah, I forget what his name is. but
I know. I feel terrible, but
I
he
think
played. He
Andrew
played.
Reynolds?
What?
I don't.
that his name?
Let me see.
Oh.
I need a picture.
He plays Rexplosion.
Yes.
So, really great cast. And
You got some names. In
but
there.
yeah, so
Yeah, everyone's a name.
so your impressions.
I think it's you have a lot of comic books out there that take the same form of like writing. This is one that I can say from not reading it. This is one that I can say does it the best and changes a narrative that's already there. I love the idea of having somebody who lives like you're embellishing on the idea of a vampire, right? Somebody who lives the rest of his existence doing whatever the he wants to whoever the he wants with a minimal Achilles heel. This guy doesn't, and he knows it, and you become anti-hero omni-god status, where you're just straight up like, I'm here.
Deal
You're
with
gonna be
it.
gone in a breath of my time. Like, that's him, and that's what's amazing about this writing.
They
is
write
you
it
have
so
such
well.
and like even with Mark's character, you have such a transition where it's like a discovery period where it's like, oh, he just figured out that he can do all this stuff.
He throws a trash bag into orbit,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, there they are."
sweet. Yeah, I thought that was so funny. You imagine there's a satellite that's like trying to get a good shot of another universe and just used Coca-Cola, and you're just like, how? So like,
It's one of those pods that
Yeah.
they put in the soda machines or whatever, just empty, and it's just like it's got like crust and mold on it. And it's just like, what the?
I just imagine like
Dad?
crust, like just the crust of pizzas in the box is just.
Well, no, it's from Burger Mart. Which do you guys
Oh,
catch that the initials are BM?
BM, yeah.
Brilliant. I love that.
I like that a lot. But I think it's a unique and understandable way to write both, and like talk about like a good dynamic too, where you basically have, in a way, like it's weird to draw parallels to Guardians of the Galaxy from this, but a way it's like Ego,
Yeah.
immortal,
No, that's a pretty
powerful, has a son that's half him, and then has
virtually
a wife.
virtually immortal.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And it's just like same, and like in the same sense, it's better because it's like he's the guy who it's like, I want to hate you, but cool, like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
I love Omni-Man, but he's such a piece of shit.
Dude, when he tears through that alien plant, just straight up, just like, yeah, this
So
ain't worth
basically,
it.
it's like it starts off in like, by the end of episode 1, he's torn
Yeah.
apart bootleg Justice League.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
And you're like,
that was
he's,
amazing.
what the hell? He's so strong. And then like every episode is like, no, he's stronger.
Yeah.
But wait, he's stronger.
But wait,
But
it's
wait.
even worse. Yeah.
And then he destroys a whole civilization, and
Yeah.
you're like in minutes, and you're like, are you kidding me?
These guys went from space travel and rift portable things to I'm back to throwing sticks and rocks. Like he's like, yeah. And you know
Yeah,
what's
anyway.
interesting? You'd think a story like this we'd be talking more about Mark. Anytime I talk with this, it's all
What's
about
about
Omni-Man.
Omni-Man? Oh, yeah.
88% about this.
Because Omni-Man,
Yeah.
he steals the entire show.
He is.
Which
And-
is
'Cause
which,
even
which,
like-
which
go ahead.
which all to say, Mark is still great in this show, and like
I like
and
him-
his growth,
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that personally, it's probably one of the best animated shows that I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah.
And it's and it's different because it's not directly made for kids. It's for the first time they made like an animated series that's not for kids.
Yeah.
Like this is for
Which is a long time coming.
it's a comic book
Yeah.
TV series strictly not for kids, which the comic books weren't made for kids
Yeah.
either, because the kids in the comics, like it I've heard it gets just as violent.
Yeah, and interesting enough, I think what another show on that platform that paved the way is The Boys. And I think that paved the way for this kind of genre to start making light. And I really like. Well, we'll stay on one topic. But,
but there's a lot of crossover between The Boys and
I think it's
a lot of parallels.
Yeah,
there you go.
Especially with like
That's the word I wanted.
The real perils of having superpowers. Of like when
And
a guy
it's-
can run faster than anything else and accidentally goes through somebody, it's
What
not
happens?
just a tackle. You
Yeah.
get vaporized. Like,
Yeah.
and it's stuff like that.
So yeah, and I think that
It's like,
it does a really good job of going like, well, what happens if the hero doesn't save everyone? Like it's
Yeah.
not the hero doesn't always save the day. It doesn't
Yeah.
always save everyone.
yeah.
But yeah, Nathaniel, what were your first thoughts or impressions?
Wow. So
Cool.
So
Anyway.
so when I first watched the first episode, I was like, okay, this is like. So I got the end of the first episode spoiled. I saw it independently on TikTok, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch this show. So
Because you know what happens.
no, because I was like, I had a friend who was trying to get me to watch it, and I was like, nah.
Is it like too violent?
No, that's not because The Boys is more violent.
Yes.
And it's
much,
live
much
action,
more
so.
violent.
But I was like, I had a friend who wanted me to watch it, and I saw the promos and stuff, like just like images. Like I didn't see any trailers or anything. I was like, you know what? I'm just not that interested. And finally, I caved and watched the first episode with my friend. And when I saw how the ending episode one fit into the way that the episode was structured, like just the first episode, I was like, oh, so he's like the hero, but not.
Yeah.
That's what you call an
Best
anti-hero. But I was and you
anti-hero
fit into his
ever.
family and everything, and
That's the like. I think that's
because
the
when I
thing
saw it
people
independent,
like.
when I saw it independently, I was just like, oh, this is just some bad guy, like killing these heroes. That sucks, and that's kind of cool, I guess. But then you see he's part of the main character's family, and then like that adds a whole different dynamic.
Yeah.
And going back to Mark, I think Mark is what anchors the show, and obviously, he's kind of like the window into.
I mean, he's the
universe.
he's the namesake of the show.
Yeah, and I think, but kind of like what you guys were saying is Omni-Man is like the real character of the show, and Mark is what kind of gives him
that sense
any
of,
humanity he
Yeah.
has. Man, it makes it hard because of the last episode. Did he like give did he explain why he did what he did?
not yet.
Omni-Man.
I haven't gotten that far into it.
Okay, that
Wait,
To my wait.
I was gonna say 10 minutes in.
I-
Most of that's
think
over.
So, but I'm not 100% sure.
you talking about the speeches Mark's like lying bloody pulped, where he's
Yeah.
like they need a fraction of our power to it like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but
like
he
it's
explains
like
why he's doing what he's doing, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He did that. Yeah.
He did that,
I
okay.
thought you
yeah,
meant
because
like
that's like
something
in the
else.
beginning
Yeah,
of the
that's what-
episode
I was
where
just
they're in the
making
air. That's
sure.
before they start
I was
fighting.
making sure because
Sorry.
that's like the mystery that all the episodes point to.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, because it's like
why is he doing this?
Yeah.
It's like, is he mind controlled? Is he all that
Exactly.
stuff?
That was my biggest thing
I
throughout the
thought that,
series. Is
yeah.
like I really need a satisfying answer to this because
Yeah.
he's doing like everything that's wrong with this world. He's just like
He's
he's
exactly.
just like evil incarnate. But why?
Yeah.
And the
But
answer
it's
is
weird
so
because-
messed up, but it's so satisfying.
But it's
But-
weird because it's like he's evil, but in a very like cynical, matter of fact way.
Yeah.
Like he's not like evil. Like we will conquer the planet because no. But
Yeah.
he's like no. We conquered the planet because you guys need help.
Yeah.
Like we're here to help you.
Yeah.
And if you don't want this help, we're gonna force it on you.
Yep.
And then everyone who's still alive will benefit from it. It's a very weird like. It's very weird, but
Yeah.
like in a way, it's like he is definitely the bad guy. But like when you hear it, it's like.
And he's like, people will die, but there'll be order, and
It's like
that's
there'll be order. The people that survive, their lives will be benefited. Like they'll get our technology, and like their lives will be advanced through like 2,000 years into the future. And it's just like it all doesn't like aside from the conquering and killing all that refuse part. It sounds like a good investment. Like I don't understand why. Like you know what I mean. But it's the whole like conquer, kill everyone else that resists. That's the problem. Obviously.
Well, and like it gives a very Napoleon concept to things because that's very much that same way where it's just like you either get with the times or we're putting you back in the past kind of thing. You know what I mean? And like you kind of caught hints of that from him too, where he was just kind of not like he didn't. It's not like he didn't care about where everything was. He just seemed kind of like almost impatient with the pacing of things. You know what I mean? He just seemed kind of bored.
Yeah.
And like that's what really like caught my intrigue.
Mark's mom was a pet.
Yeah.
Like that line blew me away because I was just like, I'm like, first of all, if it's like you do that to your pet, that's gross. Second of all, but it's weird because like how does a virtually immortal being view someone who you are romantically involved with at some point? Because it's someone that's like a blip on your radar, a blip on your lifespan. Like that's, you know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah. It's like you do care about your pet, but not as much as you care about a son or a daughter or like.
And I think that's the parallel.
I think it depends on the person, obviously. But,
well, obviously, but it's
like, you know, pets don't live that long typically. Yeah. They're disposable.
But the fact that so it's like, so I guess it's like if you, okay, now pardon the graphic imagery, if you have sex with your dog and then it's half human, half dog or whatever, then it's like you love the human of that dog more than you love the dog, right? That's kind of, I guess that's
a good point, yeah.
Right, because it's like his son is half Viltrum. Which is the alien race that's coming to conquer the Earth.
Exactly. And
which is the race that Omni-Man is from. And so it's like...
And he claims that's the reason why he loves him.
Yeah, he loves him because he's a Viltrumite.
Yeah.
And that's why. And he's trying to get through to him, that this is the way it needs to be. Not the way, you know, it's going to be, or the way it has to be. This is the way it needs to be. Like, it has to happen this way. Right. Or not the way that he wants. Like it's
his purpose. It's his driving.
Yeah, it's not that I want to do this, but like it's work. Come on, man. Like, you know, and it's a very weird dynamic, but it works really well because you have this guy who he called his wife of however many years, he compared her to a dog, but for some reason he has this undying devotion to his son to make him understand. And I think it's only because like he's Viltrum. Yeah, he's a Viltrumite. So I don't know.
It puts a really interesting spin on what a regular villain is. It gives him guidance, but it still doesn't explain like what's the point of conquering everything. If everything's good back on your home planet, what's the point of expanding an empire? You know, it doesn't give you an understanding further about like, okay, wouldn't it be faster if there was more than one of you? Wouldn't there be faster? Like why? Like what's the point?
Well, I think it boils down to kind of like the human need to like create, like whether that's children or empires or whatever. You want everything to be like you. It's so focused on you. You're like everybody needs to be like me, I guess. And that kind of, you know, because they send people to other planets to like control them.
Yeah, to conquer them.
Yeah, to become more like them. And their idea of better is them. Everything centers around them.
Everything is centered around. If you're a man looking like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I mean...
I was going to say, yeah, he has the Magnum PI look a little bit. Yeah.
It works so... I love that just everyone from Viltrum, like, in that glimpse of, like, 70s. Other Viltrumites, every man has a mustache.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Super 70s. How cool would it be... I don't want to predict it. But how cool would it be if
that's kind of what we're
the reason they look like that is because a human got there that looked like that? That'd be kind of... Anyway. But
Freddie Mercury never died. He just flew off into space.
Right.
And
created Viltrum.
No, that pod that we sent out in the 70s that had like the collection of the human existence.
Oh.
That made it there. And they're just like... Oh.
It's like, who's this gorgeous man?
Yeah. We need to go there.
You are my Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh. That makes sense, because in Bohemian Rhapsody, he says a lot of stuff.
He says a lot of stuff. It's a long song.
I'm a rocket ship on my way to Mars.
That's not Bohemian
Is that
Rhapsody.
In there? I don't know all the lyrics.
Stop me now. That's right.
Stop me now. Yeah.
He's like creating Viltrum. Don't stop.
Okay, so real quick, predictions for season 2. What do you think?
Well, since the other half is setting it up, I'd assume that Mark's not going to be dead. Clearly, I hope. But if he is with Omni-Man's plan, he's probably a double agent in it, and he's like maybe trying to put the reins on his dad's plan, maybe, or maybe he wants to discover that side of him a little bit more and maybe go with it. It's hard to predict.
Yeah.
Because Mark's kind of a moldable character.
Well, you were there. Well,
but-
okay, so you saw the part where Omni-Man flew away, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay, and he flew
And you
off
heard the
Earth.
baseball story.
You were there for the baseball
Yes.
story, right? Yeah.
Yes.
One of the best transitions, like, holy crap.
That was a really good, like, anyway.
That moment, like, I
choked-
teared up. I was
I
like,
choked
oh my
up because
God.
it's like it's his baby boy, and it's
It,
like,
like,
he's
yeah.
proud, and it's
Yeah.
anyway.
And that's kind of like, that's where Mark is his anchor.
And
Like,
also-
even if it's like, he did break through to some extent.
It's kind of like a father who has to reprimand his kid, but then like as he's doing, he's just kind of like, this is my boy. Though.
It's like, am I going too far?
yeah,
Yeah.
But I think
that humanizing of him.
part of me thinks it's like when he flies off, it's like it's not to. I don't think he's going back to Viltrum.
No.
I don't think he's going back to the planet. He's probably just going somewhere else, anywhere else. And he's just like, I failed here. I'm. It's kind of like Yoda. He's going into exile, basically. And he's just like, well, I couldn't conquer this planet. I'm not worthy to be a Viltrumite anymore. I'm leaving. And he just.
I think he's going to go blow off steam somewhere.
Yeah.
And then, but he's definitely coming back. You know he's coming back.
I mean, with an actor like J.K. Simmons, you can't just.
well, I mean, like,
you
coming
can't-
back to Earth.
Why not? I mean, still, like, you can't just sideline a character like that.
It
No, of
could
course
be
not.
too that with this monumentous moment for Mark being put in his place like that, I think it's also maybe like planting the seed for him, and it could be his method of just like, I've explained to him the situation, he'll come around, and now he's off to do something somewhere else, and with the intention of like Mark will catch on and he'll continue what I'm doing there maybe. But like that's what's hard is like Mark's not down for that,
No.
so it just doesn't like I don't see him being involved unless it's getting rid of something that's a compromising thing, like preventing him from pulling forth what he's supposed to be doing there. I don't know if he would leave, but he may like
Mark?
no Omni-Man. I don't
Omni-Man.
know if he would leave Earth, just considering the amount of time he was there. You know what I mean?
Not for good.
Not for good.
No, like, he's anchored to that planet no
Yeah.
matter what he does. Whether it's to conquer it or... I don't think Omni-Man's going to turn around.
No.
I really don't. I think
Mark will try.
I think
but
that they're
ultimately-
basically going to center the next season around how do we get rid of Omni-Man? How do we kill him?
See, that's-
Mark is not going to want that.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be there's going to be tension between... But the thing is, like, how do you kill
Yeah.
Omni-Man? How do you kill him?
You can't.
More Viltrumites are on his side.
Yeah. Unless there's some MacGuffin where it's just like, oh, because he's half and half, he has some innate whatever. It's like, I hope they don't do that. Because that's such a cop-out for any sort of superhero movie to be like,
I feel like that's kind of a direction they could go. It's just like the idea of like half Viltrumites are
Yeah.
somehow stronger
yeah.
because they
Well, it's kinda-
Heart!
well no because they kind of play with that in Dragon Ball a little bit. Like half
Right.
Saiyans somehow are stronger because it's like Gohan, Trunks, like they all at Goten they all turn Super Saiyan
Very young.
very young.
Very young.
So they all have this innate like natural strength to them. Like so it could they could play with that idea that like when you're pure-blooded Viltrumite, it's like you're not weaker, but it's you're only sharing the genes from other Viltrumite. But when you share genes with like another species, you get
know what?
you get that,
And it
you get
like
other-
sucks because I like... There's a little bit of the puzzle that you're missing that they tease at the end of... I think it's
I'm
at the
gonna
end.
watch
yeah.
it. I'm gonna watch it and try to get to that because I want to.
I was gonna say you have like 10. If you watch the first 10 minutes,
Well, there's...
you
I
only.
think I... Well, they're... Man, it's like... I'm not sure. 'cause
I know. I'm not. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything
But-
either, but
I
Yeah.
think, but to tail off of your thing, that kind of makes sense though, because think about it. If you had a bunch of super powerful people, you don't have a need for any obsolete planets. You'd just be, big fish finds a smaller fish and eats it. Exactly. So the other fish don't matter. It's usually the big fish tries to find another big fish. You know what I mean? So if the
Well, I think they have the mindset that they are the biggest fish out there.
That's what I
There's
mean, though.
nobody is like...
If the point of conquering things is to just conquer things, what does that have to gain? So maybe it's not a matter of they have to conquer it. Maybe it's because they're trying to find more things, like with pure blood animals, right? After a while, they get health defects.
Yeah,
maybe
it's
that's the
inbreeding.
problem.
I know that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like at
Yeah.
some point, like if you're just breeding Viltrumites and Viltrumites,
So maybe they're trying to find a similar race that can ascent that and create stronger versions of them to further their own missions.
I mean,
creating
his
the perfect
explanation.
person.
I think they think they're the best. Like,
No, from
Right.
what he says, it's like it sounds like Viltrum is like the end
Pinnacle.
all, is the end all be all,
And they're just trying to evolve
I think
further.
I think that the second season will explore the fact that they've been wrong, and if they want to
I like that.
better their race, they will have to mingle with other
Mm-hmm.
species, and Mark will be like the prime example of that.
I would love to see them explore the fact that like that inbreeding, like
The cells
Earth
imploding.
or like the fact that if you keep just mixing with yourself and nobody else, like you're gonna come into a wall and find out that you're not as amazing as you think you are. Like you have
and then-
defects.
and then slowly that could end the race, because with birth defects, it's like infertility and stuff like that, and then it just slowly dies. So
yeah, I'm just like
Anyway.
This could have a lot of seasons.
maybe
it could
that's
go on, and it's
also-
just like I want to see what can kill Omni-Man. What can kill Omni-Man?
Also-
Eventually we'll find out.
Also, one-eyed alien Seth Rogen.
Sorry, I came to the wrong planet.
It's like, oh, this isn't Earth? No, this isn't Urath. It's like, no, this is Earth, not with a U. It's like, no, it's like, oh, I'm in big trouble for this.
I love that.
That was great.
I hope that's a continuing. I hope that keeps like.
If you
keeps
if you finish the last episode,
Oh, he's in it?
Yeah, you'll see him again. I'm not going to tell you what capacity, but you'll see him again.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's a very broad, just kind of like quick, like what we thought of it. It's a great series. If you have Amazon Prime, or if you know someone who has Amazon Prime, watch it 100%. The episodes are like 24.
No, they're
minutes
longish.
long.
They're like 40 minutes
Yeah.
or something.
Really? I thought they were
There's
like
8
20
episodes. They're like 40-ish.
Yeah.
Huh. I was under the impression that
They
were
vary
only-
in length, but I think they're on the longish side.
Okay.
Which is rare for animation. And so there is one gripe I have with the show. The animation isn't, like, the animation
Consistent.
itself is not amazing. There are moments, I think for the most part, like...
There's a couple episodes where the quality drops a bit.
Yeah, I think it's in... When they blow their budget on the
fights?
fight scenes, like, it's incredible.
But
But
the rest of the episode is usually
they're kind of
like,
a little bit janky. But it makes sense that they put
drops
all
a
their
couple
budget
frames.
into the... Yeah.
You know,
So it's not, like, as consistently amazing as I would like.
that's the
but-
Toei effect, though. It's just like, why blow budget on a conversation when you can blow it on blowing the,
But
water.
that's really the only gripe I have with the show, because like every calm moment serves for like the ridiculous show that is going to come up
But-
later.
I kind of like the stiffness of it, because it gives a sense of like settledness or calmness when there isn't intense things happening. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
kind of like when you're playing like when you're playing a game, right? Typically, it's like, oh, the gameplay is mediocre and the cutscenes are high quality. Kind of don't care for that, and that's why I don't really play a lot of Final Fantasy games, because it's that sense where it's just like, oh, cinematic quality cutscenes. It's like, I'd rather just watch all the cutscenes.
You got to play
versus
Final
play-
Fantasy VII Remake. It's
Is it good quality all the way?
yeah.
All right.
The fight scenes are very flashy
Oh,
as well.
I might have to do that. But yeah, I feel like
I think the one gripe that I do have with the show is, and it's just a very small nitpick to like a character moment. Amber.
yeah,
The one gripe that I have with her is, they have this moment where Mark reveals to her that he's invincible, and she plays it off as like, yeah, I've known for weeks. And it's like, it's like, because if you're trying to play it off like she's this really smart character, you've already kind of done that already. But the fact that she's known, and I understand that I understand that she's more mad that he didn't tell her. I understand that part. But the fact that she's mad at him for not being there, and if you knew that he was invincible, like, that's kind of not.
Then you're both in the wrong.
Right. Then you're less in the right at that point. You know what I mean? Because it's like, yes, he could have told you, but at the time you were just more mad at him for him not making you a priority.
Yeah.
Which I guess you can argue is saying that, like, him not making you a priority is not telling you that he's invincible. However,
I
it's
mean,
like,
my whole issue with Mark is that he didn't tell her the entire time. Like, if you're going to date someone and invest in that person, they need to know. Like, they need to know at some point, like, soon.
And that kind of goes into the character of Mark, and kind of, I think that's still what he has to do.
He's still learning how to be a hero.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah, you end up having more of an issue with Amber because she's like, you knew, but like it
right,
just...
yeah. So that was kind of my problem. It was
Yeah,
that was my
she's superior.
that was my little nitpick, is that she was acting like she had the high ground, even though in reality it's like you knew that he was putting his life on the line, and you knew that he almost if you knew that he was invincible, you should know that he almost died a couple times when he said that he was going to meet you somewhere, and when he didn't show up, it's because he was dying. So it's like that was where my gripe came from. It was just more of like, you're not necessarily all in the right here, and you're kind of being a bit of a bitch about this. I understand if you're mad that he lied to you, but
it's only justifiable if she was ignorant the whole entire time.
It's only justifiable if she was ignorant. And then if she wanted to be mad at him for being invincible and not telling her, that would make more sense. But she's just like, no, I'm still mad at you. I knew already, but I just, whatever. And I'm like,
what's the name of the pink superhero? What's her?
Adam Eve.
Yeah.
Atom, Atome.
Eve. So from the beginning, I called it. I was like, they're just setting up Adam, Eve, and Mark. Like, that's literally what Amber is for. And I was like, that part was a little bit predictable for me, but
But then at the end, her and Mark get back together like nothing happened. Which I'm like, if I was Mark, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, I can't, because it's like, you were mad at me for almost dying. That's not fair.
Yeah. But then when you think about it, they're teenagers.
Yeah, I know. You can loop. I mean, honestly, you can loop that back around, and that's a good.
That's fine.
That's a good explanation for any of the reasonings. So
yeah, because if I look back when I was a teenager, holy crap!
I look back.
Idiot.
I look back at some of the things I did as a teenager, and I can't help but just like my whole body just cringes and like folds in on itself, and I'm just like, ah! But
yes, I want to cease to be.
But anyway, quick star ratings. How many stars out of 5?
Out of 5?
Out of 5.
4.5.
5, honestly.
5, honestly. I'm going with Nathaniel 4 out of 5. Like, the nitpicks that I have bring it down half a star, but they're very minor nitpicks, and it makes it,
Both of those, I kind of like them because of those. Because stale animation when there's not a fight, so you want to see high def people talking.
Yes.
And for you want to see fleshed out characters who don't have personality flaws. In high school, everybody's going through shit where they don't know who the they are, let alone with somebody who has the weight of being, better than a normal human being. It's gonna be complicated. And even like with her, like, it made sense, because it's just like, if she knew, and she being herself not exactly normal as it is, she's not gonna be outside of the realm of being like, I suppose something seemed different about him anyway. And like, with her being upset about him almost dying, I would be too, because it's just like, if you die, I'm kind of stuck. You know what I mean? I liked you a lot, and now you're gone. I'd be upset. I'd mourn it. I'd be upset. So it's it's kind of, it's Degrassi in that sense, where it's just like, he can't win, but it makes sense given the relationship. You know what I mean? Because it's just like you said, if you're going to be upfront about something and be honest about something, be it from the beginning. So her knowing this, not really, being like, not being upfront about the circumstance and not addressing it earlier, she's just as much in the wrong. So they're both imperfect people, and that's kind of I feel like that's kind of the writing style that they're going with. But yeah, I think all in all, I don't really have anything I've felt was a big detriment. I really wish that more characters would be involved in a better way, but I know they're just getting this first, they're getting this first thing going, and like, they're just getting this started. I'm sure there's multiple seasons after this to come with lore and structure and story and development and loss and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. My only hope, I just don't want them jumping the shark or doing MacGuffins. I'm tired of cartoons doing like stupid like that. And like with like Omni-Man, leave him invincible. Give Mark something to build up to, and give people something to like see as a very far-reached thing. You start at the bottom of the bookshelf reading, Dr. Seuss. You're not going to pick up Charles Dickens and the Odyssey at the top of the shelf just yet. Give you something to build up to. Don't just jump straight to it and give you the end of the story you're working towards. So
also, well, again, the comic's already out, but don't be a coward. Kill Mark. Kill him at some point. Have Omni-Man win.
Kill Adam Eve. That's even more impactful, because now Mark's going to be even more like
Yeah,
anchored to
I
doing
think at some
something.
point they're gonna do that.
Yeah, and I
But-
think that makes sense. But
I'm excited to see where it goes. Great series.
absolutely. Let's
Oh, we should probably plug our social media.
Yeah, so Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're on Spotify. We're on Podbean, and
Apple Podcasts.
and Apple
That's what it's
Podcasts.
called, right?
Yeah, Apple Podcasts or iTunes, whatever you want to call it.
flavor blasted.
Oh yeah,
Email us,
Please,
you
email us.
cowards. No, we
Right.
love you.
We're being 100% honest. If you email-
Caleb, you coward! I'm calling you out, Caleb. I know you listen to our stuff.
I'll like grab his neck and like hold him up to the speaker and be like, "This is for you. You're gonna like it."
Caleb, email us
at
nerdingoutpodcast@gmail.com with an idea for what you want us to talk about. You freaking talked to me on Sunday and you said you missed us and that you wanted to hear from us again. Email us, you coward,
yeah,
and tell us what you want us to talk about.
Jesus, you too, Lotta. God dang it,
Yeah, a lot of babe.
Lotta, have us talk about Warbreaker.
Yeah, that's for another time. But yeah,
yeah.
I just can't wait for our Detroit cast.
Yo, you ready?
I'm so ready. No, I know nothing about Detroit except
I
already know
I
but-
live pretty close to Detroit now.
Have you been by it?
I
at all?
haven't been by it, but
That's what everyone who says they live close to the drive.
I live probably like 4 hours away from Detroit. It's like a 4 hour drive.
Because you'd have
you can do the reast for the hate cast.
I could.
go to Grand Rapids, enjoy the only
I'm
good
coming.
town.
I'm coming to you live from Detroit.
Just
Great.
kidding, it's dead here.
We have to make his quality if we do that. We have to make it like 240p. Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We will be back to you. We'll be back with you later with more content.
Absolutely.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.